Hey guys, it's Ross Scotland on Space Catch Day. I'm going to be reviewing Book 2 of the Orphan Fleet by Brendan Detzner, City of the Forgotten and Shadows of the Capital. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. I took this up to Sunderland to read and I read a big chunk of the first part, which is City of the Forgotten, got distracted by a few other things, got back into it at the weekend and finished it off. Read all of Shadows of the Capital in one go. So, love this book, love this character, Jiaire, he's just great. In his segment, because like the previous book, it's divided into two parts, the two titles that I mentioned. In the aftermath of the battle at the mountain, some of the Dragor Empire people infiltrate the mountain and kidnap Jiaire. And he's taken off to this penal colony, that you can see in the background, the mountain also. So everything's revolving around mountains. And that's pretty much, when I say a penal colony, can't say that word, colony, it was a colony, but it has become a penal camp in the meantime. So everyone there is a prisoner, basically, whether they're guards, prisoners, what have you. So he is still kind of a bit on the run, even though he's there, because as the airship is bringing him in to this mountain, he does his usual trick of jumping off, because, you know, they're all acrobats. And the airship crashes, takes out half the dock, so they're all hunting for Jiaire. So he goes into the mountain, hiding through all of the tunnels, basically, trying to keep his head down and not be discovered. And he does, of course, get discovered and recaptured. But he has some very interesting meetings when he's escaping and trying to escape, that sort of thing. He has one of those like dream sequence conversations with the Count while he's captured. And turns out the Count's brother, I think, is perhaps the best way of putting it, is at this place where Jiaire is, and they have some interactions. And it's along the lines of like, I see what my brother sees in you, that sort of thing. And when he does escape into the tunnels as well, Jiaire, he stumbles across a cannibal. I mean, like a really horrible cannibal. But he doesn't get eaten. He manages to trade his life and get away. But it's on the whole lines of, if I see you again, yeah, you won't see me again. So as he's trying to find ways of escaping, and the first prisoner, as he's known, who I think is the Count's brother, it's a little bit difficult sometimes figuring out who is who. He's basically planning an uprising so they can escape. And that is basically what happens. It's not a very long story. Especially Jiaire's kidnapped, he's on the mountain, escapes to the tunnels, meets these various characters, plots an escape, and escapes. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I did actually prefer this one a bit more out of these two stories, Shadows of the Capital. This follows a girl who is becomes a handmaiden to a girl called Lady Joanna, who is Amber's sister from the first part of the Orphan Fleet. And the family is basically this close to being bankrupt, still spending money like wildfire. The capital, it's very tense. The wars and rumours of wars and uprisings and all that sort of thing. The Dragor Empire is having a lot of problems keeping itself together, and how it's doing that is, of course, the usual totalitarian method of force. So basically it all comes crashing down, and she has to try and escape to the mountain as it happens. But it's all about her adventure. It's all about her adventures. This will be Joanna, I believe. This mask is very interesting because the girl, Shanala, I think her name is, she works in a marketplace before she becomes her handmaiden. Selling books, naughty books, you know, like the Lady Chatterley's Lover version of whatever is in this universe, to noblemen and noblewomen. And she gets the job as her handmaiden because the previous handmaiden gets murdered. So she steps in, and she's been recruited as a spy by some of these background forces who are seeking change, revolution, what have you. So it's all very interesting, and I did thoroughly enjoy it. Again, some of the descriptions, there's not loads of descriptions, but some of it is just really, it really takes you there. Like, there's a scene, I think it's either the Cathedral District or the Museum District, I think it was called. But there's basically 2 cathedrals. One went up a long time ago and it's got a nice big open plaza in front of it. Another one went up right next to it. So there's this much between the 2 of them. So that open plaza space has been forgotten. You know, it's full of things like that, and the details on the city are very fascinating as well, in the same way that they were for the mountain in the first Orphan Fleet book. But yes, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. It's wide open for a sequel. This slightly less so because it ends the sort of thing like, and for the rest of his life he told this tale, you know. But I do hope we get to see more of the adventures of Jiaire, because he's a great character and his story is nowhere near done, Brendan. So get writing, Brendan. And I really liked the characters in Shadows of the Capital as well. And I did kind of get the feeling that it might all end up back on the mountain, so that'd be great if they're all reunited for whatever comes in the 3rd part of, I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or an ongoing series. Brendan, maybe you can let me know. I know you're planning on a 3rd book. I'm not sure what's happening after that. But yes, thoroughly recommended. It's such a great read, and I love these covers. It's just fantastic. But there you go, guys. That's just my thoughts on the Orphan Fleet Book 2. What is it? City of the Forgotten and Shadows of the Capital by Brendan Detzner. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.